Hi everyone! So today I'm going to do kind of my third installment in this little mini series that I'm doing all about products that are worth the hype. So I've already done products that, I called it like underrated products, so products that don't have any hype but they're really awesome and there probably should be hype around them. I also did products that are not worth the hype, so products that a lot of people talk about here on YouTube, but in my personal opinion they're really not that great. And so now we're going to do products that are worth the hype. These are products that get talked about all the time on YouTube. A lot of people love them. And in my personal opinion, there's a reason. So I have quite a bit here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. First off is the one thing I do not have actually like tangible to show you. And that is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. It's a setting spray so you just like mist it on your face. It is such a fine mist and I personally really did notice a difference. First of all, I do have drier skin, so I don't like to have like a bunch of powdery grossness on my skin, as most people don't, but it's really easy to when you have drier skin. So for that reason, and it really did make my like makeup last longer, so I think that's a really good product and I recommend getting it. Next, I have these, and these are the Mercier Primers. I hear a lot of people talking about them and saying how great they are, and I really think they are. I have drier skin, so I don't like the silicone primers. I might use it like right around here where I usually don't get dry anyway, and that's where like my larger pores are. No. Hippo was just chewing on one of my sandals. Isn't that nice? Anyway, so these are like more of a lotiony consistency. I have the traditional and the hydrating one, and I like them both a lot. And if you have dry skin, I really recommend you try checking those out. This is a really hyped up foundation. A lot of people say if you have dry skin, you won't like it, but I love it. And it's the Revlon, excuse me, Colorstay Whipped Foundation. So it's kind of a moussey whipped texture, and I've used this quite a few times. And I really like the way it comes on. Now, it's definitely something that if you put too much on, you're going to get a cake face, and obviously nobody wants that. So, you know, make sure you do really light layers, which you should really do with all foundations. But for that, I find really great results. It's got great coverage, and it doesn't cling to my dry patches or anything. Alright, I'm sorry if I'm talking really quickly. If y'all saw the sheer, like, mountain of stuff I have to talk about, then, you would kind of understand. But as always, if you have any questions or comments or anything, leave them below and I can address that. This is the Too Faced Hard Candy Glamoflauge Concealer. Now, a lot of people talk about this, and I think it's got a good reason. I do have a whole review of this product, which I'll go ahead and link below. Pretty much, it's got amazing coverage. It says that you can use it to cover up tattoos. I don't have any tattoos, so I can't say that, but you can cover up pretty much anything. The one issue I do have with it is that, at least for me, it clogs my pores. So I only use it on like special occasions, but I do use it, and I think it's as good as people say. Alright, now we have a powder, and I think Taupe, as far as I know, is the first one that really talked about it, but this has been all around forever and a day. My grandmother is from Scotland, and she said, I remember using that like growing up. And now she is 83, so it's been around for a really long time. And it's the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. And this stuff is amazing. It is so finely milled that you can just dust it over your face. It sets your face nicely without looking any powdery. I have the shade Translucent. Now, as with all loose powders, it is a little bit messy, but it's great. And it does kind of have that like old kind of powdery smell. But I kind of like it. It reminds me of my grandmother, so I like that a lot. Alright, now let's get into some cheap products. This product isn't as hyped as it used to be when I started watching YouTube, but it's still pretty hyped. And it is the Sleek Blush. And this one specifically is in rose gold. Everyone, when I started watching YouTube, talked about it. And it's as good as people say. Now, I've heard it's a dupe for Nars Orgasm. I don't have Nars Orgasm, so I don't want to tell you it is if it's not, but it's this beautiful corally orange with so much shimmer. It's almost a duochrome. And do you see that pigmentation? It's crazy. No. Those are like one of my favorite pair of sandals, and I really don't have to ruin it. But it's just so pigmented and beautiful. Now, obviously with that, you need to use a lighter hand. I use a e.l.f. small stipple brush to apply this. But I think it's great, and this really inexpensive, even like ordering it internationally, because obviously I'm not from the UK. And then this is another thing. It's the Balm Cosmetics Instain Blushes. Now, I only have this one shade. It's the shade Lace. and it's a beautiful hot pink shade, and it is gorgeous. And I've said it many times whenever I talk about it, I don't understand how, but it really does stain your cheeks, and it lasts forever, which is awesome. So it's right there. It's just a true hot pink shade. Again, really pigmented. I use an e.l.f. small stipple brush for it, but I love this product. Alright, now I have two bronzers slash contouring shades that I really want to talk about. The first one is actually in this palette, which apparently is coming back out with Tarte's spring line. It's the Rainforest After Dark palette. I've done a whole review of it, so I'll link that below. But I really specifically want to talk about this, which is the Park Avenue Princess bronzer. It is so cool tone. It's right there. And it just creates the most beautiful contour. Now, I don't love shimmery bronzers at all. So I think they have like a shimmering version of that. I don't have that, but the matte one is beautiful, and it's a really hyped up product, and I think it's got reason. Pretty much the same exact thing for this, which is the Nars Laguna bronzer. This one looks like it's got shimmer in the pan, but it doesn't come off on your skin. They're very, very, very similar. As you can see, the Nars one is on the bottom, and that one is a little bit darker than the Tarte one, but they're both great, and I recommend both of them. Obviously, if you have a darker skin tone, you might want to go for Laguna, but I'm pretty fair, and I can use Laguna without looking like a crazy person. Alright, I have two highlighters now, and they are, one is the Benefit What's Up highlighter. Now, this is a little mini, but look at how much product that mini comes with. I've also done a full review of this product. I'll link it below, and it's a beautiful champagne-y gold highlight. And just look at that shine. It is beautiful. You just pop it on your cheeks. It's not what I'm wearing today. I'm wearing one of my 5 by Cinco de Mayo products. But it's just so gorgeous, and it blends out so nicely. But it still gives you that beautiful sheen, and I love it. And I like a really intense highlighter, as you would probably guess, because my next product is the Balm Mary Luminizer. This is a beautiful product. It's really soft, so I don't recommend traveling with it, because it didn't happen to me, but I know a lot of people broke, like, in traveling and stuff, so I don't recommend traveling with it. But it's a beautiful champagne-y highlight again. This one is a little more cool tone than the, what do you call it? Blah, blah, blah. Benefit one. So there it is, and even, as you can see, even, like, blended out, it's still very, very intense, but it's beautiful, and I love it, and I recommend you trying it out. Alright, next let's go to eye products. As you probably know, eye products are my very favorite. So, first and foremost, the Maybelline color tattoos. Everyone talks about how great they are, and there's a reason. Now, I know a lot of people talk about them drying up. This is Bold Gold. But I have this one, Bold Gold. That was a great place to swatch. Right there. I've had this one for a ridiculous amount of time, and it's still really moist. Just make sure you close the cap and store it upside down. And this one is inked in pink. Both of these I think are pretty high, like these colors in general. There's inked in pink. It's really icy pink. It's pretty. And I think there's good reason. I think they're beautiful, and for me, they work really well. I don't have to use a primer under them, and they make my shadows pop, and besides that, they also just really cling on and make them not crease, so I recommend these. Next, and if you've watched me for a while, you probably knew this was coming, L'Oreal Infallible. Again, I only have 2. For both of these, I would love to have the entire line. And this might seem a little dramatic, but I feel like if I had the entire line of L'Oreal Infallibles, I might not need another eyeshadow. I mean, I probably would still get it because, hello, you can't help it. But I would probably be, like, content with my eyeshadow collection if I had every single L'Oreal Infallible. Because just look at these. This one is Endless Sea, and this one is Bronzed Taupe. They are so metallic, so pigmented, so gorgeous. Like, one swipe, and they are just like wowzers. Now, they are fallout prone, so I recommend, you know, just kind of patting it on really lightly. I always use my foundation after I do my eye makeup because of fallout, but just be aware that these do have pretty bad fallout. but you don't even need to wet them, and you get that great of pigmentation. The blue one didn't swatch as well, but it's just as good. I've got hair right there, so that kind of inhibits the swatching, but they're beautiful. Next, I have two mascaras I want to talk about. This is the Smashbox Full Exposure. It's got a natural bristle conical shaped wand. I would say it's got a pretty in the middle formula, not too wet, not too dry, and it is fabulous. It gives you a lot of length, a little bit of volume. I've actually done a whole video about a dupe for this, so I'll go ahead and link that below. But it's beautiful, and I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and it's usually included in a lot of sets, and I think there's a reason for that. And another one that, again, a lot of people talk about is the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes, or Flashes, the one in the gold. Now, this one's got a rubbery wand, but it's not hard, because like I've said before, I mentioned it in the products that are not worth the hype video. The Benefit They're Real really does poke me, and I don't think I'm just an idiot. Like, it really does hurt, but this one doesn't at all, and I really like it. And to me, this is the closest thing I've come to having like a false lash effect mascara. It is a little bit of a wetter formula, which I like a wetter formula personally, but this is amazing, and I highly recommend it. Alright, lip products, and then we're done. I think I've motored through this video pretty quickly. So, this is one of the Buxom full-on lip creams. I only have this shade. I got it in a set, which was the Sephora Give Me Some lip set. I'll link it down below. But this is in the shade White Russian, which is like one of their most famous shades. Has a delicious vanilla smell. I'm trying to find a place to swatch it. And it's just a beautiful neutral pink, slightly peachy toned on my skin. But it's gorgeous, and it's not sticky, and it's pretty opaque to where you can put it on your lips, and I don't feel like you have to have something on over it, or excuse me, under it, and I really like it. All people talk about the tingling, burning sensation. I don't really notice that. This guy is always getting hype, and especially they just came out with some newer colors, and they came out with the metal ones, which I obviously haven't tried. I just have this shade. By the way, in case you don't know, this is the Too Faced Melted Lipstick. This is the shade Melted Peony, which in and of itself, I would say this is one of the most hyped colors. It is right there. It is a beautiful pink. It's kind of bright, but it's also got a little bit of a mauve tone to where I think it's really great for all year round. These stay really well. They get a little bit dry, I would say around the 3 to 4 hour mark, but if you have some chapstick, just put it on. And they dry really matte. I've heard some people say they dry glossy. I don't know. This one dries matte, and I think it's really easy to apply, and I really like the little felt tip applicator. So it gets a lot of hype, but there's a reason. I think that the melted lipsticks are great, and I would like to have all of them. Alright, next let's go on to the NYX Butter Lipsticks. Now, as y'all probably know, a lot of people get a giant NYX swag bag. So they do a lot of lip swatches and stuff because they have them and they can show you. So, at least for me, I'm always like, well, you're just doing swatches, but is it really that great? They are. They are so moisturizing and buttery. I mean, as cliche as that sounds, it really is buttery, and they have really nice pigmentation. I just got this one recently in my March Ipsy bag, which I'll link that video below in case you didn't see it. So, this one is the shade Razzle Fiesta, and this one is the shade Pops. Pops is a really nice mauve neutral, almost a slightly brown shade, and Razzle Fiesta is a hot pink, which is actually my favorite kind of lip shade. And they're great. And for me, I mean, they don't last super long, but they almost feel like chapstick going on. I like the packaging, but they do shake in the tube, which I know bothers some people. I honestly don't care, but, you know, I think they're great, and I highly recommend trying those out. And this is another one, and this is, a lot of these you'll notice I only have 1 or 2 shades of, but as I've said with many of them, I would like to have the whole line. This is the Tarte Lip Surgeons. This is in the shade Elite. It came in the Sephora Meet Your Match set, which I believe is still up. I'll link my review of that down below. There it is. It's a really nice corally shade. It's really natural on the lips. It gives you a little bit of color, but it's more of a natural shade. It's minty. It's so smooth going on, and I think it makes my lips feel really hydrated. Again, it's right there. And I really like it. It's just a little mini. And as you can see, I've used quite a bit of it, but this is great, and I recommend trying these babies out. This is one of my all-time favorite lip products, period. This is the Bite Luscious Lip Gloss in the shade Strangefruit. This also came in that Sephora Meet Your Match set. It's right there. It is glossy, obviously, but it's a beautiful purpley pink shade. I did break the lid, unfortunately, but the packaging is really nice, and the shade is just perfect. I would totally buy a full size when I run out, and I do think I'm going to run out. It's kind of getting lighter as it is, but it's a beautiful shade. And as far as the formulation, it feels really nice. A lot of people talk about the smell. It's just okay for me. It's kind of a semi-fruity smell. A little bit plasticky and fruity. It's fine to me, but I really love this shade, and I love the formula, so I really like these lip glosses. Alright, 2 more lip products, and then we are finished. Maybelline Color Elixirs. Love them. Now, these I think are really divided here on YouTube. Some people really love them, and other people are like, ugh, gross. Now, they are a thicker formula, and at least the 2 I have, which are brighter colors, are pretty opaque, and you can wear them by themselves. So, the top one is Breathtaking Apricot, which is number 005. It's kind of a corally. It's really not that orange. It's really more coral. And the bottom is just a hot pink in the shade 085, I believe. Yeah, Hibiscus Haven. It looks like they're really similar, but they're not at all in person. So, as you can see, I like a lot of hot pink. But these are beautiful, and they're slightly sticky, but they last pretty well. They are thicker consistency, so if that bothers you, you won't like them. But I think these are great. And last but not least, these are the Nars lip glosses. This is the new formulation. I have the shade Orgasm, which I actually don't love just because it is very glittery and metallic. And it's almost a peachy, almost an orange. See, it's even hard to see. There it is. It's hard to even see a true color because it's got so much glitter. But I love the formulation. And this one's in the shade Priscilla. Again, it's a hot pink, and I love this. Look at how pigmented that is. It's almost like a liquid lipstick in pigmentation. And they're great, and they stay on pretty nicely. They're not sticky at all. They have no smell. This is the newer formulation. Supposedly, the old formulation smelled awful. These are great. I recommend them. Alright, so that was kind of a whirlwind of a video, but you know I like to talk, and I didn't want this video to be 7 hours long. I'm also got class in probably 20 minutes or so I need to head out. So I really hope that you found this video helpful. I'll link the other 2 videos down below, as well as everything I mentioned, anything that I think will be helpful, everything that's on my face today, all of that will be down below. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me, and I'll see y'all real soon. Bye!